I'd like to give a slightly different take on Ezra Miller, the Ezra Miller case, because there are certain things that just are troubling me. Well, obviously, it's a troubling case, and but I try to think beyond just my immediate outrage and like look at like some deeper connections, some like trying to follow the lead out a bit further beyond. We see right now what's been thrust before our eyes. The case of this seemingly completely out of control, totally obnoxious creep who just is doing one thing after another. After coming out as whatever he is, whatever he's decided to be, whatever he's elected to identify as, which I'm not respecting his pronouns because I don't care about that shit. But I do think it's something to look into, just insofar as what's going on with this guy, right? So what we have is yet another case of a child actor, somebody who started out in Hollywood, in a major Hollywood film, as a young man, as a child. I'm not sure how old he was when he was in the movie we need to talk about, Kevin. I think maybe 11 or 12, I'm guessing. And I'm not sure if he was probably in some stuff before that. I don't know his history. I haven't delved into it. But it does seem like this guy is yet another case of somebody who got involved in the entertainment industry way too young. I really do think, and this is with, even with regard to all of the fine child actors who are out there, including the ones on Stranger Things, who are all great actors, and put on really good performances. But I just think there's no upside to being a child actor in Hollywood, in the entertainment industry. I think if you are a parent and you thrust your child into the midst of that crazy, perverted maelstrom, there's something wrong. You're a bad parent. You're an abusive parent. You've erred from the very beginning. There is absolutely no way I would ever let my kids, I mean, they're both older now, but if when they were younger, if there was a chance for them to be in movies or be in TV shows or whatever, I would absolutely have no part of it. Want no part of it. And that's why when I look at Ezra Miller and his case, I tend to feel somewhat differently about him than I think most people do. And that's not to say I don't have the immediate visceral reaction that other people have to him when he does the things that he does, when he talks the way that he does, and now having seemingly groomed a young girl on an Indian reservation, then convinced her that she's whatever thing he identifies as, having talked her into his delusional perspective, because he's been this major influence on her since she was like 12 years old. He was 23 and she was 12 when they met, and she's 18 now, 6 years later, and now he's taken off, absconded with her, and her parents have basically accused him of kidnapping, and and there's a manhunt out to find this guy who's in major movies now, like superhero movies. He's the Flash, apparently for DC, in the DC movies. And yes, DC movies do seem to be cursed, as somebody recently remarked, with Will Smith and Amber Heard and now Ezra Miller. I would say there's something different in this case. Although I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know as much about Heard and Smith. Smith, I guess, got involved in entertainment when he was fairly young. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, just his whole Fresh Prince act. I don't know, was he in his late teens, maybe in his early 20s? I don't know. I mean, it's likely that a lot of these people have checkered pasts, or have pasts that involve being abused. I mean, I was kind of beating around the bush until now, but that's what I really see when I see this when I see Ezra Miller, this just totally out of control person, just attacking other people, and just going off, saying he's going to kill these Ku Klux Klan people that I don't even know whether they exist or not, or if this is just some drama he's got in his head. It sounds very, it sounds like he's got a very iffy hold on reality, generally speaking. So I kind of sympathize with the guy, because I believe that something was done to him at a young age. Do I have evidence of this? No, I don't. My only evidence is his current behavior. This is not the behavior of somebody who's in his right mind. No, I know people do bad things, and people are arrogant and obnoxious, and they don't have to have been abused to do those kinds of things. And being abused isn't an excuse for your behavior, particularly when you're an adult. But on the other hand, I think that if what seems to be true is true, if there is just this systemic abuse in the entertainment industry of children, among others, but most saliently speaking, of children. And if Ezra Miller was one such victim, then this is something, this is abuse on an egregious scale, and that's what I see in his behavior now. I see abuse. I see the behavior of someone who was abused on an egregious scale. I mean, Todd Bridges and what was her name? I can't remember the girl's name from Different Strokes. They were both abused. Dana Plato. They were both abused. They both were wild and out of control. Todd Bridges was like robbing gas stations, and Dana Plato was just out of her mind, and eventually I think OD'd or something. And I remember at the time people laughing about her, about what a mess she was, and I'm really kind of ashamed of that, of kind of laughing along with them in my own way, just thinking, oh, these Hollywood kids, they're so spoiled and blah blah blah. Well, no, it's not a question of being spoiled. I think we are seeing the results, we are seeing the fruits of systemic abuse. And I strongly suspect that Ezra Miller was abused. And that's how he came to be the way he is now. It's just a strong suspicion that I have, that is backed up by a lot of what we know about the entertainment industry. And I do find it strange also, from a young age, his first major role is where he plays a psycho, like a a little boy who has absolutely no conscience and ends up murdering his family, and hates his mom for no reason and wants to hurt her for no reason, no other reason besides just an inborn, psychopathy. Like, there's something in the fact that he was cast in that role at a young age. Again, I've talked a lot before about Liam Neeson. He's the first one that comes to mind, as somebody who just embodies this kind of person. And I think it goes beyond typecasting. We see different actors projecting different sorts of persona, and it's almost like they've been shaped to do these kinds of things. I don't know what goes on, in the bowels of Hollywood, and I don't really want to know. But I have a feeling there's a lot of very, very dark and evil things. And I think that Ezra Miller, he's doing a lot of bad things right now, and I understand why people are fed up with him now. But just my strong suspicion is that what we're seeing is the result of something that was done to him as part of this entire system of abuse of children, and others, but particularly of children, because you get the most bang for your buck when you abuse or program, brainwash children. You get the most out of it because they're the most malleable. That's well known. So just try to keep that in mind. I would say keep that in mind with this Ezra Miller story, and try to have some compassion for him and for what was likely done to him and what he's likely responding to. Again, not to excuse anything, especially not his grooming and kidnapping of this girl, but just something else to keep in mind with respect to this entire story. All right, those are my thoughts on the matter. Let me know what you think below. Thanks for watching.